Well, I think we've all been here. You want to play Football Manager, but you just can't find a challenge that excites you. Well, here's 4 ways that should spice up the challenge for you. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome to ways to spice up Football Manager for you. We've all been here. You love playing Football Manager, but you just can't quite find the right way to excite the game for you. So this is four ideas that I have that should give you a little bit of a different challenge, hopefully anyway. The first one is don't use the player search tool. Just rely 100% on your scouts. Now, the good thing about this is that it makes it's more difficult the further down the pyramid you are and the less scouts you have. Just let the chief scout does scouting responsibility. You ban yourself from clicking on this button at all costs, and you just have to rely on what the scouts do. And this is something that I do no matter what I'm doing. Every save I do, I always ban myself from this player search button and rely on the scouts. And I can tell you it's frustrating and it is definitely challenging when you know you need player, and especially at the start when you know a player exists, but you've got to wait for your scouts to find him. It's tough. It is very much self-censored, but it certainly makes it difficult. Like I say, and the further you are down the pyramid, the less scouts that you have, the harder the challenge is. Now, the next challenge is a little bit similar, but definitely more hardcore. That is Director of Football does everything. Now, if you want to really add to the challenge, you can't hire the Director of Football. You could get stuck with an absolute bastard of a guy. Can I say bastard? I guess I can. It's my channel. If we go and have a look at stuff, I'm lucky in my Queen of the South series. I do have a very good Director of Football. So if I had to do this, then I could probably just about get away with it. But if you want, the way you would do it, so to sort of make it a little bit easier for you, if you go to the staff responsibilities, you would go down to scouting, and you would just you can see there the scouts do everything. I just have a look at the scout meetings. But you would go to transfers and contracts, and you would just delegate everything to the Director of Football. So they would look for players, they would sign players, they would release players, they would do everything, and then you go to contracts and do the same thing. The Director of Football is deciding who you have, who you don't have, who they sign, who they let go. I've done this. It can be very, very annoying, but it's fun in a frustrating kind of way. But it really can. It makes you, you have to adjust your tactics based on who the Director of Football is, and it definitely makes it challenging. Definitely makes it challenging. The third way is to follow in a manager's footsteps. Now, I've done this with Dean Smith a couple of FMs ago. There'll be a playlist on the channel somewhere if you want to see how I got on with it. But the good thing about this is that you don't have to start a new series. Or a new save, I should say. You can continue on from your current file and just pick a manager. So, click Carlo Ancelotti. Now, I'm one of my 2030 here, so he's got a few extra. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. He's still at Real Madrid, so he's done quite well for himself. But following Ancelotti's footsteps, you start at whatever that says, and then you just do what he does, and then if you want to, you can continue on in the game when they take over new clubs. So, for example, let's go with Jurgen Klopp. He has had since he left Liverpool, he's done the Germany job, Villarreal, and he's been at Aston Villa as well, which is a strange one. So yeah, it's never ending. You can just keep following in a manager's footsteps, and then if they retire, you can pick a new guy and just follow in his footsteps. So you can either start new, as I say, and for example, you could do Jose Mourinho, and you could start at Benfica or Union de Lira, or however you say that. If you're new, I don't know how to say anything. Yeah, and just follow his career. And, you can't apply for, so when the Porto job comes up, you apply. If you don't get it, you stay at this club until you get the Porto job. Then you stay at Porto until you get the Chelsea job. And then you stay at Chelsea till you get the Inter job, and so on and so forth. And again, you can see he's had a little bit of extra. Again, at Aston Villa. What has happened to Aston Villa in my save? Yeah, you just keep following on. And, it's interesting. It's a fun way to do a journeyman. As I say, I did it with Dave Smith's footsteps, and it is possibly the most fun I've ever had playing Football Manager. It was different. Let's just say that. But Walsall, Brentford, Villa was what I had to work with at the time. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I say, you don't have to start fresh. You can just continue on your current save file, or you can obviously start fresh. And the final way I found to spice up a save is to only sign players from one country. Now, if you're playing as an English club, the easiest thing to do, just for work permits and whatnot, is to only sign English players. Now, again, you don't necessarily have to start a whole new save file. You can keep the club you're going with, that you've been playing with and got a little bit bored of, and just change your transfer policy. You only sign English players. Now, again, you do have to self-censor. There's no way in the game to make it that you can only do it. So you're sort of only... you're only cheating yourself if you don't do, if you sign somebody else. But yeah, it can be really, really challenging, because if you're trying to win the Champions League and you can only have English players, that there's only so many English players that, or any country, I'm just picking on England for the sake of it. But yeah, there's only so many players of that quality, and so to be able to sign enough of them to win anything can be very, very difficult. Now, if you want to see how I got on with this at Manchester United, you can do that right here. And let me say, it was a lot of fun again. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like the video as well, and I'll see you hopefully next time for another video very, very soon. Take care.